What if I told you that death is not the end, but a doorway? For centuries, humanity has feared death, viewing it as the final chapter, the last breath before eternal silence. But what if death is not an end, but a transition? What if those who have walked the edge of existence, who have glimpsed beyond the veil, have returned with knowledge so profound, so otherworldly, that it defies everything we think we know? Near-death experiences, or NDEs, have been recorded across cultures, timelines, and belief systems. Thousands of people, from ancient mystics to modern-day surgeons, have come forward with eerily similar accounts, leaving their bodies, watching events unfold from above, traveling through tunnels of radiant light, encountering celestial beings, loved ones, or even a blinding intelligence beyond human comprehension, feeling a sense of overwhelming peace, before being pulled back into their mortal flesh. But what really happens during a near-death experience? Is it a hallucination, a trick of the dying brain, or is it a glimpse of a hidden reality, a momentary crossing into the vast cosmic ocean that awaits us all? Throughout history, the world's greatest spiritual traditions have spoken of the afterlife, the soul's journey, and the secret mechanics of reincarnation, yet much of this wisdom has been obscured, ridiculed, or buried beneath the weight of materialism. Today, we uncover the ancient truth behind near-death experiences. We will journey across lost civilizations, forgotten texts, and mystical insights that reveal what truly happens when we die. And perhaps, by the end of this journey, you will never fear death again. For as long as humans have gazed at the stars, they have pondered the great mystery of what lies beyond death. But while modern science is only beginning to explore near-death experiences, the ancients understood them intimately. From the pyramids of Egypt to the temples of India, from the mystery schools of Greece to the esoteric texts of the East, a singular truth echoes across civilizations: death is an illusion. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, one of the oldest mystical texts, describes the soul's journey beyond the physical realm. It speaks of a tunnel of light, a council of divine beings, and the famous weighing of the heart, where the soul's deeds are judged before it is allowed to ascend. But Egypt was not alone in this knowledge. In Tibet, the Bardo Thodol, or Tibetan Book of the Dead, describes the moment of death as a departure from the body, followed by encounters with radiant beings of light. It teaches that souls experience visions, face their past karma, and ultimately choose their next incarnation. Even in ancient Greece, the philosopher Plato documented near-death experiences in his work The Republic. He told the story of a soldier named Aer, who died in battle and returned days later with breathtaking revelations about the afterlife, a realm of dazzling light, a place of life review, where every action, good or bad, is relived in vivid detail. A moment of choice, where souls decide whether to return or continue their journey elsewhere. These teachings, found across cultures, suggest that NDEs are not hallucinations but glimpses into a hidden reality that has been known for millennia. The suppression of ancient wisdom. But if this knowledge is so ancient, so universal, why is it not widely taught? Why does modern society fear death rather than understand it? The answer lies in control. Throughout history, religious and political institutions have rewritten spiritual truths to maintain power. The early Christian Church, for example, once embraced the idea of the soul's journey through multiple lifetimes, a belief shared by the Gnostics and early mystics. But in 553 AD, the Fifth Ecumenical Council declared reincarnation heretical, erasing it from Christian doctrine. Why? Because a soul that knows it will return cannot be controlled by fear. By replacing the natural cycle of rebirth with the threat of eternal heaven or hell, religious leaders became the gatekeepers of salvation. The masses were no longer encouraged to explore their own spiritual experiences but instead forced into blind obedience. And so, the mystical truth of what happens after death was buried beneath dogma, lost to time, until now. Because today, Thousands of people are experiencing near-death experiences and returning with the same revelations that the ancients knew. What they describe is not a mere dream or illusion, but a profound, sacred journey. For those who have stood at the threshold of death, the experience is more real than reality itself. It begins with a sensation of separation, as if the body has become weightless, unshackled. Many report floating above themselves, watching as doctors attempt resuscitation or loved ones gather around, unaware of their presence. Some describe feeling confused, as if awakening from a dream, only to realize they are still conscious. Others experience an overwhelming sense of peace, as if all pain and fear have been erased. And then, almost universally, a presence is felt, something vast, intelligent, and loving, guiding them toward what comes next. And that's when the tunnel appears. The tunnel of light, a passage between worlds. Throughout history, those who have returned from death describe a tunnel of radiant light pulling them forward. It is not merely a physical passage but a transition, a bridge between the material and the infinite. Some say it feels like moving at the speed of thought, faster than light itself. Others describe seeing shadowy figures watching from the edges of the tunnel, souls in waiting, some familiar, some unknown. But at the end of the tunnel, there is always a presence. A being of pure, radiant consciousness. Ancient traditions call this the Great Light, the Divine Presence, the source of all things. It is often interpreted through the lens of one's beliefs. Christians may see Christ or an angelic figure. Buddhists may encounter luminous bodhisattvas. Atheists often describe an indescribable force of love and wisdom, beyond religion. But regardless of form, the message is always the same: you are home. The Life Review, reliving every moment. As they approach the light, many experiencers are shown a panoramic review of their entire life, but not as a punishment. Instead, they relive every moment from a higher perspective, feeling not only their own emotions but those of others affected by their actions. Every word spoken in kindness is felt as waves of warmth and love. Every act of cruelty or neglect is experienced through the eyes of those who suffered. There is no external judgment, only self-awareness, as if the soul is its own witness. This concept mirrors ancient esoteric teachings. The Egyptian Hall of Ma'at describes how one's heart is weighed against the feather of truth. The Bhagavad Gita speaks of karma as an unbroken thread, weaving lessons across lifetimes. And here's the most mysterious part. Many who undergo the life review report that time does not move linearly. They experience all moments at once, outside of ordinary perception. Could this mean that time itself is merely an illusion? The choice, to return or continue onward. Then, a decision must be made. Some are told, your time is not yet. Others are given a choice, return to life, or continue the journey beyond. Those who choose to return often do so with profound reluctance, describing the physical world as feeling heavy and dense compared to the lightness of the beyond. Many return with newfound abilities, a heightened sense of intuition, an increased awareness of energy, even a strange ability to see beyond the physical. Others experience psychic transformations, struggling to reintegrate into normal life after touching something so vast, so eternal. But for those who move forward, the journey deepens. Many who cross the veil describe the light as not a final destination, but a gateway, leading to realms of astonishing beauty and infinite depth. Some report entering a vast, celestial landscape, a place that feels both alien and deeply familiar. Others describe floating cities of luminous architecture, vibrating with energy. Some step into gardens of pure consciousness, where colors and sounds blend in ways beyond earthly perception. This echoes ancient esoteric teachings across cultures. The Tibetan Book of the Dead speaks of the bardo, a liminal space where souls undergo profound realizations. The Kabbalistic Tree of Life describes multiple planes of existence, leading the soul toward divine union. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth mention hidden halls of wisdom, where initiates gain enlightenment before their next incarnation. Could it be that the afterlife is not a single place, but a multidimensional reality, shaped by the consciousness of the traveler? Encounters with higher beings. Many experiencers speak of meeting guides, elders, or luminous beings who impart knowledge beyond human comprehension. Some describe these entities as angelic, radiating love and wisdom. Others speak of ascended masters, ancient souls who have transcended the cycle of reincarnation. A few recall encountering abstract intelligences, beings of pure energy and vibration, communicating through telepathy. One theme remains constant: these beings do not dictate, they guide. They do not impose, they illuminate. They often reveal that the soul has lived many lifetimes before this one. And this leads to a revelation that shatters conventional belief systems. Reincarnation, the soul's endless journey. As they reach the deepest layers of the experience, many report seeing their past lives laid before them, as if time were a vast, interconnected web. Some recognize faces and places, spanning different eras and civilizations. Others feel the weight of lessons unfinished, unresolved karmic patterns still influencing their current incarnation. A few describe seeing probable futures, paths they might take if they choose to return. This aligns with the Akashic records, a concept found in multiple traditions. In Hinduism, it is called the Chitragupta, the divine record of every soul's journey. In Theosophy, it is known as the Akashic field, an eternal archive of all thoughts, actions, and emotions. In Hermeticism, it is referred to as the memory of the universe, accessible only to those who attain deep spiritual insight. And then comes the most profound choice of all, the moment of return, the soul's decision. Some souls are given the opportunity to merge with the infinite, dissolving into pure divine consciousness. Those who choose this path describe a feeling of oneness with all existence, a state beyond thought, identity, or limitation. Others feel a calling to return, knowing they have unfinished work to do on earth. But here's the strange part. Many who return resist at first, describing the physical body as heavy, dense, and slow compared to the boundless freedom of the spirit. Some experience a sensation of falling before suddenly awakening in their body, often with an immediate, visceral awareness of what they just experienced. Others struggle to integrate the knowledge, feeling alienated from the material world upon their return. And yet, nearly all who return bring back something extraordinary, a new perception of life, an unshakable knowing that death is not the end, a mission to share the truth. Must one die to glimpse the afterlife, or is there another way? For centuries, mystics, shamans, and spiritual adepts have sought to access the realms beyond life, without stepping through the door of death itself. Through sacred rituals, deep meditation, and altered states of consciousness, they discovered that the threshold between life and the beyond is thin, permeable, accessible. If you seek to experience the revelations of a near-death experience, NDE, without dying, these are the ancient methods that can lead you there. Near-death meditation, journeying to the other side. Throughout history, spiritual seekers have used deep meditation to induce states indistinguishable from an NDE. Tibetan monks practice Thodgal, a form of Dzogchen meditation that guides the practitioner into the clear light of awareness, a state often described by those who've had an NDE. Egyptian initiates of the mystery schools would enter deep trance-like states in darkened chambers, simulating the experience of crossing into the afterlife. Indigenous shamans use death rebirth rituals, allowing their spirits to temporarily leave their bodies, accessing wisdom from beyond. How to try near-death meditation. Find a silent, darkened space where you will be undisturbed. Lie down and focus on slowing your breath, allowing your body to relax completely. Visualize floating upward, as if detaching from your physical form. Imagine yourself entering a tunnel of light, but instead of going forward, pause at the edge. Ask, what wisdom does my higher self wish to reveal? Allow visions, sensations, or messages to emerge. When ready, return gently, grounding yourself before opening your eyes. This technique allows you to touch the veil without crossing it, giving glimpses of past lives, astral realms, or hidden truths. Mirror gazing, the ancient reflection of the soul, used by the Egyptians, Greeks, and medieval mystics. Mirror gazing can open doorways to past lives, spirit communication, and even glimpses of the afterlife. Some see faces shifting, revealing previous incarnations. Others describe visions of otherworldly landscapes, echoing what is seen in NDEs. A few report feeling as though they are pulled into the mirror itself, stepping beyond the physical plane. How to try mirror gazing. Sit in a dimly lit room with a candle placed in front of a mirror. Focus on your reflection, allowing your gaze to soften. Avoid blinking too much, let your eyes adjust. Watch as subtle shifts begin to appear, your face may change, images may emerge. Stay present, allowing whatever arises to unfold. When finished, write down your experiences, patterns will emerge over time. Mirror gazing can awaken deep soul memories, helping you recall knowledge buried across lifetimes. Lucid dreaming, the gateway to the afterlife. In many esoteric traditions, dreams are a doorway to higher realms, a place where spirits, guides, and messages from beyond can be accessed. The Tibetan dream yoga tradition teaches that conscious dreaming allows us to experience what death feels like, while still alive. Ancient Egyptians believed dreams were messages from the gods, revealing insights about the afterlife. Many NDE experiencers report that their visions feel more real than dreams, suggesting that lucid dreams might be a stepping stone to these states. How to induce a lucid dream related to NDEs. Before sleep, set an intention. Tonight, I will remember a past experience beyond this life. Keep a dream journal beside your bed, writing upon waking increases recall. Throughout the day, ask, am I dreaming? This builds awareness that carries into sleep. If you become lucid, call out, show me what lies beyond death. Observe what unfolds. Many have reported entering vast light-filled realms, speaking with deceased loved ones, or feeling a profound sense of peace and unity. Lucid dreaming grants access to realms normally hidden, allowing glimpses into the wisdom of the beyond. Breathwork DMT states, activating the pineal gateway. In ancient cultures, the pineal gland, known as the third eye, was considered a gateway to the spiritual dimensions. Shamans of the Amazon use ayahuasca to enter visionary states strikingly similar to NDEs. Hindu yogis activate the Ajna chakra through deep pranayama, breath control, achieving states of consciousness where they claim to experience the afterlife without dying. Many who undergo DMT experiences describe encounters with beings of light, feelings of ego death, and entering a hyperreal dimension, all hallmarks of a near-death experience. How to activate this naturally? Try the Wim Hof breathing technique, rapid deep breaths followed by breath holds. Use alternate nostril breathing to activate the pineal gland. Engage in prolonged darkroom meditation. Drink pineal activating teas like mugwort, blue lotus, or cacao. Through breath, focus, and natural activation, one can access realms that exist beyond this material world, without the need for external substances. Bringing the afterlife into everyday life. You do not need to wait until death to understand what lies beyond. Through deep meditation, lucid dreaming, ancient scrying techniques, and breath work, you can begin accessing these truths now. The ancients knew this, the mystics practiced it, and those who have glimpsed the beyond often return with one resounding message. There is nothing to fear. You are eternal. But what does eternity mean, for you? So, what really happens during a near-death experience? For centuries, mystics, seekers, and even modern scientists have tried to answer this question. Are NDEs simply hallucinations of a dying brain, or do they reveal the true nature of our existence? The accounts are eerily similar across cultures, religions, and eras: a tunnel of light, a profound feeling of peace and oneness, a meeting with beings beyond human comprehension, a realization that consciousness does not end, it expands. These experiences are too universal, too deeply transformative to be dismissed as mere tricks of the mind. And here lies the greatest secret: you do not have to die to awaken. Those who return from an NDE are never the same. They lose their fear of death. They begin to see reality differently. But why should one have to experience the brink of death to realize this truth? What if you could awaken now? You could remember what your soul already knows. You could step beyond the illusion of a single lifetime and embrace your infinite nature. Because in the end, the message is clear: you are not your body. You are not your past. You are not bound by time, space, or illusion. You are consciousness itself, eternal, limitless, divine. And now, the question is no longer, what happens when we die? But rather, what will you do with this knowledge while you are still alive? The awakening has begun. Join the journey. If this knowledge resonated with you, let your voice be heard. Have you ever experienced a near-death experience, a past life memory, a moment of unexplained awakening? What do you believe happens when we leave this world? Share your thoughts below. Let's explore the mysteries together. And if you seek to continue uncovering the hidden wisdom of the ancients, subscribe and join this path of awakening and transformation. This is only the beginning. Until next time, seek truth, embrace wisdom, and remember, you are an eternal soul.